Hello everyone, this is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne, and I'll bring you a video tonight titled, Superior Men Submit to Their Inner Voice. Tonight's video is brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. But let's get right to it. Superior men submit to their inner voice. It's really that simple. When it comes to men and their ability to be the superior man, you must acknowledge that you do have an inner voice that's guiding you. You have an inner voice that's telling you the moves that you're supposed to make. You have an inner voice that's telling you exactly who you are. And your quality of life is determined by your willingness to submit to your inner voice. It's really that simple. Your inner voice knows everything about you. Your inner voice knows the plans that were exactly for you when you were sent here. Your inner voice has already done an assessment of you. Your inner voice speaks to you exactly to where you are and exactly to who you are. And that's why you're frustrated when you go against the inner voice. And that's why you must submit to your inner voice. Society has a set of rules for you. Society has a set of rules for you that is meant to control you and that is meant to steer you away from your masculinity. Masculinity can never be controlled. Masculinity has foresight and insight into himself. And so masculinity is always imposing himself to life and is not allowing life to impose itself to him. When life can impose itself on you, it can control you. But anyone who attempts to control you has an agenda. And the agenda of life, so to speak, the matrix, what I talked about in my previous video, the agenda is to put you under its thumb so that you're never as productive as you can possibly be and come to a full awareness and understanding of yourself. The most dangerous man is the man that fully understands himself and the man who cannot be controlled because the agenda cannot pervade his space. He will be exactly who he's supposed to be. He will be a recognized leader of himself and to others. Your experiences will be superior. Your thought process and movements will be exact. So that's why you have to submit to your inner voice. That's why you are the superior man when you submit to your inner voice. So we're just going to talk about the agenda that society has for you versus the truth of who you are and the plans that are for you. And this video came about from a coaching call that I had yesterday with a young gentleman. And if you're listening, thank you for investing in yourself. And I'm very proud of the breakthroughs that you experienced on the coaching call. And let's continue to make that magic happen. But this gentleman had reached out to me months ago. And he came back. He's been following my content. And he realized that he was tired of fighting himself. And that there were particular answers that his inner voice was leading him to. And I was the catalyst to take him to a journey back to himself. So the premise of this video and the premise of that particular coaching call was taking a journey back to self. And you're not going to be an elevated man. You're not going to be a superior man until you take a journey to yourself. Taking a journey to yourself, all that means is that you do not compromise the inner voice that is speaking to you. You do not make that inner voice anything other than what it is. It is the voice of truth concerning you and where you're supposed to be in life and the impact that you're supposed to make. That's the inner voice. And you're a superior man when you submit to that voice. You're an inferior man when you let society move you away from that voice. When you let society impose its agenda on you, as opposed to understanding the plans that are exact to you, that the inner voice is telling you about yourself. And it was a very productive coaching call because this gentleman had multiple facets of his life that he wanted to advance in, not just dealing with women professionally and just other things holistically concerning who he is to be the man that he knows he's supposed to be. So he finally got tired of fighting himself and he picked up that phone and he called me. And I'm encouraging you all to do the same thing. If you're tired of fighting yourself, If you're tired of the emptiness, you need to pick that phone up and call me. You need to email me, matt@matthewchorne.com, coaching in the subject matter. Your name, your phone number, whatever issue that you're facing in the dating space. You hear me say it time and again. This is where your breakthrough is in that coaching session with me, because your inner voice is guiding you there. That's why you're listening to my messages. That's why you come to my channel. Something is missing and you're getting answers. And that's what I'm here for. So this particular gentleman, I'll just go through some of the things that we talked about. This particular gentleman, he had been overextending himself with women, and he wanted to stop simping, in his words. And he was instinctively doing things that society told him to do, but it wasn't getting him the outcomes that he wanted. He was leaving situations with women very frustrated because he was suppressing his inner voice and he was surrendering to the world's indoctrination concerning how he should go about dating. And it was frustrating him. And once again, he got tired of fighting himself. And so this particular gentleman, he was offering things to women and offering more things to women before these women fully surfaced in his life and materialized in his life and showed him exactly why they were there. And he was getting frustrated because what he was giving perpetually was not coming back to him. He was in a constant state of frustration because he was leaving every situation empty. And that's how the inner voice communicates with you. Yes, it will give you instructions, but when you defy the instructions, when you defy the definition of yourself that this voice is telling you that you are, you're going to be left empty and you're going to be left frustrated because that inner voice knows exactly who you are and what you deserve. You don't always have to do a deep self-assessment. A lot of times you just have to listen to that inner voice. And whatever that inner voice is telling you about yourself, that is who you are, that's where you've ascended to, and that's what you qualify for. And that's why you're frustrated when you have experiences less than what you qualify for, because you're fighting that inner voice as opposed to submitting to the inner voice and being the superior man that the inner voice is telling you that you are. So your quality of life is predicated on whether you're going to listen to the voice, submit to the voice, or whether you're going to fight the voice and listen to the rules and precepts of society that are meant to stagnate you, that are meant to keep you in a minimalistic and minimal state so that you never explore your full potential. Your inner voice knows your full potential as a man. And it's not just with women, it's with your world as a whole. Your inner voice is going to guide you to it's going to guide you to experiences that are superior, and they're going to be fulfilling. It's really that simple. Your inner voice knows more about you than you know about yourself. And that's why you have to learn to submit to this voice, and you have to learn how to trust this voice. And so that's why I really enjoyed the coaching call with the gentleman, because I was able to make some things very clear. And I let him know, through the assessment of him, we're going to take a journey back to self. That's all he needed. A journey back to self. A journey back to self is resetting the voice that you listen to. That's all it is. The voice of truth that speaks to you versus the voice of society that is meant to control you and stagnate you so you never reach your full potential. Your quality of life is predicated on which voice you listen to. And he was really following me. And he was doing the math in his head. And he was seeing where he fell short by not listening to the voice. And he was seeing where he could become the superior man by listening to the voice. I took him on a journey back to himself. Because all of the answers that you need are inside of you. You can't show up here with a purpose and not have an internal guide to guide you to your purpose. It doesn't work that way. We all have a purpose. And that's why the internal voice is constantly with us, because we have to listen to that voice in order to tap the surface of the potential of our purpose. And the inner voice, the only goal of the inner voice is for you to trust it enough that you don't get in your own way, and that you listen to that voice first, so that you can always have balance and superior experiences and make an exact superior impact on the world that you're designed to make. That's all the inner voice wants for us, is to listen to it and submit to it. That's it. Because once you submit to the inner voice, you're going to become the man and have the breakthroughs that are going to show you exactly who you are. So this particular gentleman, he had a lot of the answers, and I'll delineate more of this conversation. But he was getting the answers, but he found out that his belief in himself did not match the truth of what the inner voice was telling him about himself. And that's why he was frustrated, because he was signing up for inferior experiences, and the inner voice was showing him clearly how to be the superior man that has elevated and enjoyable experiences. It's very important that you listen to this inner voice. Your quality of life is predicated and dictated by you listening to this inner voice. It's really that simple. So you can't fight yourself. If you fight the voice, you're fighting yourself. If you don't believe in what the voice is telling you about yourself, you're fighting yourself and you're robbing yourself of superior experiences. That's why superior men, they submit to their inner voice. And so you have to trust the inner voice and what it says about you until you experience the breakthroughs by staying on the course towards what the voice is telling you about yourself, until you experience those breakthroughs and you have a full understanding of yourself. The world wants to kill you in your infancy. The world kills us by telling us things about ourselves that are not aligned with the superior men that we are. And if you accept that, then you die a spiritual death before you die a physical death. Spiritual death is not fulfilling the potential of what you showed up here to fulfill. That's a spiritual death. That's unfulfilling. That's empty. And that's why you're frustrated. There's certain things you're supposed to do while you're here. There's certain impacts that you're supposed to make, but it's predicated on you obeying and submitting to the inner voice. And you have to bypass the fear. I told the young gentleman yesterday, I said, fear is natural. Fear is natural because your inner voice is going to push you towards things that you have not experienced. So fear is natural because you have yet to experience the things that the inner voice is telling you about yourself. But fear can be your catalyst to understanding yourself on a deeper level. So when you bypass the fear, that means you stay your course. Your inner voice is going to give you instructions of what you need to do to get on your course and stay your course until you reach your breakthrough. And then once you reach your breakthrough, you don't have to rely on what the inner voice is telling you about yourself. When you reach your breakthrough, now you have a full understanding of yourself. Exactly where you fit. The food chain, your place in society, your place in the hierarchy. And that's why you have to stay your course, but you can't stay on the course until you get on the course. Society will rob you because society tells you that this inner voice is crazy. Society tells you that your dreams and your aspirations in life are unattainable. But when you listen to the inner voice, you'll find out that you were not as far away from the outcomes and the breakthroughs as you thought you were. Because the inner voice knows all. Because the inner voice is the voice of all truth. So you have to submit to that inner voice. And that's why the gentleman, he was frustrated because he was giving women more than what he was supposed to give them. Because he didn't understand himself. And once he really took some time on the call to really think about things, he understood that he was overextending himself, meaning that he was having an experience with women that was not aligned with the man that he is. And that's why he was frustrated. He knew he was giving too much. He knew that the woman did not view him as a gift, that the women were requiring gifts. The inner voice keeps you balanced. It keeps you productive. The inner voice will guide you to the women that you're supposed to have in your life. Because those women view you in a light that the inner voice knows that you are. Those women are not making things difficult for you because these women are in full recognition of you. That's why you have peace when you deal with them, because you're not overextending yourself. And when you have peace, guess what? You have balance. And when you have balance, you're productive. Productive meaning that you can give the things that you're supposed to give to the world without interference. And that's what stifles most men, is a piece of consistent pussy that's not supposed to be there. They're not balanced. They're coming out of balance to overextend themselves to a woman that does not view them in the light that is a representation of who they are. That's why they're frustrated. You don't have to be that man. That inner voice is going to keep you on that path and get you on that path so that all of your experiences are superior. And another thing this gentleman talked about was other aspirations that he had within the music industry. Artist, producer, young guy, talented, had a lot of things going for himself. And he was battling himself because the inner voice told him what he needed to do. This particular gentleman was seeking out help from different people in the industry, and those people were not giving him what he needed. They weren't into him as much as he was into himself. You see the parallels between every aspiration in life and women? And the inner voice was telling him that he had everything inside of him to execute the plan that he needed to get to where he wanted to be. And that's why the premise of the call was a journey back to yourself. And once I really said those words to him, he thought about it. And then I had to give him a deeper understanding of himself and how his path is supposed to be. I gave him the example of Gucci Mane. And this parallels to the help that you need, because you're going to solicit your own help, or the universe is going to send you help. And let me make this clear delineation within this example. So this particular gentleman was trying to get people, inferior people, to help him who had different gifts and things like that, but they didn't see him the way that he saw himself. So they were dropping off. They were inconsistent. And the voice was telling him that he had enough talent to execute a plan to take him to where he's supposed to be. And I told him, I said, you have to submit to that voice. You have to take a chance on yourself. Your belief in yourself has to improve so that you can seamlessly follow the instructions of what the inner voice is telling you that you're supposed to do to get to your outcome, to get to your breakthrough. And I let him know you're not supposed to solicit help on the way. You're supposed to get on the way and become and allow the help to find you. And that's why I talked about Gucci Mane. I said, look at all of Gucci Mane's young artists. These young men did what they had to do on their own. Every last one of them. They didn't have a deal. That's why they came to Gucci Mane. That's how Gucci Mane found them. So they followed their inner voice. They pieced together the beats, the rhymes, the videos. They did what they had to do on their own. They mom and popped it. And then they started popping because they listened to the inner voice. And then what happened? The superior help came. Gucci Mane shows up. The rap apostle shows up with a chain, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and an invitation, an opportunity to work hard and follow the exact same path that Gucci Mane followed. And we've seen some of his successful artists, Pooh Shiesty, Big Walk Dog. We can go down the line, even though some of those guys self-imploded because they were, knee deep in the streets, but at least they got to a point of a real opportunity and a real breakthrough. And that's what I told the gentleman. I said, the right people are going to materialize once you become. Once your belief in yourself matches what the inner voice is telling you about yourself. I said, that's when the right people are going to materialize. But you cannot materialize these people on your own. See, we try to materialize people on our own when we have a lack of belief in ourselves. A lot of times, to get on our path and reach the breakthrough, we have the answers. And the inner voice is telling us exactly how we can execute the plan to get the outcomes and the breakthroughs. But your belief has to match the truth of what that inner voice is telling you about yourself. And once you listen to that inner voice, guess what's going to happen? You're going to reach a place of breakthrough. You're going to be recognizable to yourself, meaning that you're going to have an understanding of yourself now. You're going to find out what that inner voice was telling you about yourself was true. And then you're going to be recognizable to society, which means that the right people on the right level that match who you've become are going to materialize. You materialize the right people by you becoming, by you staying on the course of what your inner voice is telling you concerning who you are. So that's the only goal and objective of the inner voice, is to allow you to have superior experiences. And a lot of men suffer because they have the wrong woman, the woman who does not see them in the exact light that the inner voice is telling them that they are. They compromise their greatness for a piece of consistent pussy. That's going to be 99% of men. That's why so many men fall short, from the biblical times to right now. Motherfuckers on trial right now. People getting sued left and right because they have women in their space that are not a representation of the man that they've become. The inner voice is letting them know something's not right. This is off. Your inner voice is meant to keep you productive. It's meant to keep you in peace. But these men, they bypass that inner voice. They engage with the wrong women for a piece of consistent pussy. And what happens? Their world falls apart. So you don't have to be that man. You don't have to be that man. You can fully trust yourself. Dr. Wayne Dyer says when you choose to trust in yourself, you're choosing to trust in the same wisdom that created you. Your life is not going to drastically improve. You will not have breakthroughs until you learn and choose to choose yourself. So you always have life and death set before you, blessings and cursings. You always have a dichotomy of identities that you have to choose from. Your inferior self says go with the world, don't trust yourself, sell yourself short. Your superior self says walk your path, trust in yourself until you materialize the vision and experience the breakthrough that lets you know what you saw about yourself all along was true. You have to choose which path that you're going to take. You're going to have to understand and accept that the superior man, he submits to his inner voice. So that's what your quality of life is going to be predicated on. Your inner voice is giving you a superior path to become the superior man, and you can't fight it. We all have an inner voice. But if you fight that voice, you're fighting against yourself. And you're going to have inferior experiences, and they're going to be frustrating because that inner voice is present with you as long as you're breathing. Your inner voice lets you know that you're empty. Your inner voice lets you know that you're frustrated. Your inner voice is constantly giving you an invitation to listen to it. And once you listen to it, your experiences will be nothing but superior. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach. This brings you a video talking about how the superior man, he submits to his inner voice. There's so much greatness that awaits you. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. And to everyone who wants me to make a custom video on a particular topic, you make a donation of $50 or more to my PayPal or my Cash App that's in my video description. You make your donation, and then in the note feature that is on PayPal and on Cash App, you leave the subject that you want me to talk about. And then I'll have your video on my channel, Matthew C. Horne Dating, in 24 hours or less. If your video is a little more in-depth than just leaving a note, then you still make your donation of $50 or more on PayPal or Cash App, and then you email me at matt@matthewchorne.com with your more in-depth description of what you want me to speak about in your video. And the same applies. Your video will be on my channel in 24 hours or less. And if you have been impacted by my message, if you notice your thought process have been elevated and you're better for having encountered my message in this video, I want you to make a donation to my PayPal or my Cash App that's in my video description. Your donations continue to help me to grow and elevate as I continue to bring you this elevated level of wisdom and guidance so that you can be the elevated man. And if you're in need of coaching, then reach out to me at matt@matthewchorne.com. If you have particular issues that you're facing in the dating space that you've been unable to overcome, if that inner voice is telling you things about yourself that you haven't quite been able to materialize and get on the road to materializing, I want you to reach out to me for coaching at matt@matthewchorne.com. Leave coaching in the subject matter of the email. Leave your name, your phone number, and whatever issue that you're facing in the dating space in the body of the email. I'll do a quick assessment and I'll get right back to you with the terms of the coaching. Once you accept the terms, we'll set a date and time and we'll have our coaching session. It's really that simple. And also, I'm still looking to fill the slots of the 5 individuals who want to take the year-long coaching and mentorship journey with me. The slots are filling up. We're almost there. Reach out to me at matthewchorne.com if you want to take a year-long coaching and mentorship journey with me. Leave mentorship in the subject matter of the email. Leave your name, your phone number, and tell me a little bit about yourself in terms of where you are and where you want to be in life. Tell me where you are and tell me what that inner voice is telling you about yourself, where you want to be. And then I'll do an assessment and I'll get right back in contact with you. I'll call you and then we can determine if we're a good fit to work with one another over the duration of a year. In this coaching, you're going to get at least 3 coaching calls per week. You're going to have 24-hour access to me as well. Call me, text me if you're in a particular situation in life or with a woman or just anything. You're going to have 24-hour access to me. And also, regardless of where you are in the world, we're going to meet up in person. And we're going to go out. We're going to talk to women together. We're going to actually, hang out and be around each other so I can assess you in person and coach you in person as well. It's a very personalized mentorship and coaching program. That's why I only have the bandwidth for 5 individuals. If you're interested in that, you email me at matthewchorne.com. Once again, mentorship in the subject matter of the email, your name, your phone number, and where you want to be, and where you are in the body of the email. I'll do the assessment, I'll contact you, and we'll get on the road to get on that mentorship and coaching year-long journey. Lastly, I want you all to join my school community, my Matthew C. Horne Dating Coaching Community on the school platform. The link to sign up will be in the video description as well as pinned to the top of the comments. In this particular community, I give 2 exclusive videos every week that are not on YouTube. And these videos are often suggested to me by the members of the community. I'll make your custom videos if you join my community. Every Monday at 8 p.m., we have a Zoom call. Everyone in the community can get on. I do a monologue on a particular topic. We talk about that, and then for the remaining time of the hour, you all can ask me any questions that you want to ask me. And those Zoom calls have represented some amazing breakthroughs for everyone who's been on the call. And then we also have discussions within the community as well. It's a beautiful space of perpetual growth and elevation and breakthroughs. I can't say enough about this space. So if you're interested in joining my dating coaching community, just follow the link that's going to be pinned to the top of the comments as well as in the video description. And that's all I have for you all tonight. Thank you for spending some time with me. Understand that you must submit to that inner voice. That inner voice is your higher self that is communicating with you on how to have superior experiences in life. Listen to that voice without interference. Listen to what the voice is telling you concerning who you are and the man that you are. Stay on the course and you will eventually see and understand and accept that you are the man that the inner voice has been telling you that you are. I'll see you all soon.